It's time to get your geek on with Dave Vermillion.
Ah, yes. Welcome back for another rendition of Get Your Geek On. I am Dave Vermillion. This is the premier talk radio show for Star Wars, Star Trek, DC, Marvel, video gaming, esports, really all things geek that have dominated this little world of ours. You see, geek is not what it was 20 or 30 years ago. Geek is in. Geek is very in. Geek is now the mainstream, and we're here to talk the latest and greatest that is geek right here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer Talk Radio and 9:30 a.m. TheAnswer.com. This is Season 2, Episode number 39. And tonight we have a very special Kaeli Con Report. She'll be calling in here momentarily to discuss the Emerald City Comic Con, from which she and I have returned from. She flew back to Portland. I had a little bit of a longer flight coming back to San Antonio. Yeah. We also have some Star Wars news. Rebels is officially closed. It's done. Series finale happened. We'll talk about that. Was it better than the Clone Wars? Over 1,300 of you responded to our poll on Facebook.com/GYGO Radio, and we'll tell you the results coming up. John Williams is done with Star Wars, but not done composing, just for Star Wars. That's interesting. We also have our very own Golden Geek Awards movie edition. That's right, the Oscars were last weekend, and so now we will unveil and unleash our own picks, but for geeks like you. Also, a March Madness update. Who's moving on to the Sweet 16? We'll tell you all that and more coming up at the bottom half of the hour. But first, let me introduce the crew that is here with me tonight. On my left, your right, as you look across the radio dial, you will see absolutely no one, because Minion is on assignment elsewhere. He is unable to be with us here tonight. We wish him luck in his current endeavors, which is, I think he's appearing at the Chick-fil-A.
Don't fire him.
I promise nothing. But yeah, so he's currently not here right now. But we do have, further to my left, your right, as you look across the radio dial, the man spinning the ones and zeros, our sound prognosticator. He is Goose.
Thank you. No autographs today.
Goose, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I am doing pretty well, actually.
Good.
For considering I flew back very, very, very late Monday. Actually went to work on Tuesday for some strange reason.
And boy, are your arms tired?
Yeah, boy, yeah. The whole blood of me is tired right about now. So, all right, but this is good.
Well, you were missed last week. Probably more by the audience than by us. But
more than likely, yes. That's certainly true. It is nice when the only person in the room who actually showers regularly is out. That definitely.
No, I was here.
No, hey. Alrighty, so without further gilding the lily, I want to bring on someone very special, someone very near and dear to me, a friend now of some 5 years. We've attended Celebration Anaheim together, and now we've attended our very first Comic-Con together as a professional duo, you could say. She is the Khaleesi of the Pacific Northwest. She is the operator of the Daily Geek. She is Kaeli Cheyenne. Hello, Kaeli.
Hey.
Hey, Kaeli, how you doing?
Well, I had definitely that. I think for the first time in my life, I've experienced con crud and depression. I came home and I'm like, wow, this is not fun. This is real life. This is reality. I'm not surrounded by geeks. I'm not surrounded by cosplay. I'm sure you felt the same.
I don't want to adult right now. Take me back, please.
I've been pretty exhausted, actually, since coming back, but getting ready here in exactly, it looks like 2 weeks from today, headed up to beautiful, sunny Anaheim for WonderCon, so that should be exciting as well.
Very cool, very cool. And tell me about the Emerald City Comic Con. We were there on Wednesday, kind of got a lay of the land, looked around a little bit, but what was your first impression on Thursday when the crowd started to roll in?
I think you can agree with me. Thursday morning was actually really impressive. I expected the crowd size to be more minimal, due to it considered being somewhat of a preview day. But seeing as it was sold out, I was actually really blown away. The line for the official Emerald City Comic-Con store was flooded. I mean, you stood in line with me while I had to buy my Stark hoodie, Game of Thrones, House Stark, and it's funny because we all call me Khaleesi, and I did not buy the Targaryen hoodie. I went with the Stark House hoodie. But you definitely got my Emerald City merch there. But we stood in line for, maybe 20, 25 minutes to get our stuff.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, the line was, wrapped around the barriers and everything. But we met some awesome people, had some good conversations. So that was fun. Took a million selfies, as you know I'm good at.
This is true. You're very photogenic. I like that. Now, when we went to Celebration Anaheim together, that was one long convention center. They were really laid it out, but the Washington State Convention Center was more vertical. It was 6 floors of geekiness. What do you think? Did you feel the difference between the two conventions?
That was my next, topic I was going to discuss. Is I was really impressed with the layout of this convention center. It was my first time here at the Washington State Convention Center compared to Anaheim. Anaheim, it's not like the LA Convention Center where you have to run between halls. It's insane. Anaheim is doable, not as easily accessible between halls and panel rooms. Not my favorite convention center, but definitely Washington State. I really loved the layout. It was massive. I really like how Reed Pop did such a great job of separating each niche. We had panels here. We had autographing and photo ops at the Sheridan across the street. We had the 501st across the street at the Garrison, or the Garrison across the street at the other location across the Sky Bridge. We had vendors in separate halls, 6 floors. They did a really great job of separating everything, I think.
Now, what do you think was your favorite moment? I know it's really hard to narrow down, but was there one moment at the Emerald City Comic Con that really stood out to you?
So there were two, it's really tied between 2, and these were actually back-to-back experiences that you experienced with me. And ultimate favorite moments by far. The first, it's tied between the first being photographing Christopher Lloyd inside the DeLorean. Great Scott, that was amazing. Being able to, it was pretty amazing being able to photograph him inside the DeLorean. And then I ran over literally outside the line with you, David, and then met Matthew Lewis. And I have to say that after taking a million selfies with Matthew Lewis and having him comment on the fact that I literally took a million selfies, Neville Longbottom has really grown up.
I would definitely agree with you there.
That was definitely a highlight. He was gracious enough to give me a black and white 8x11 print that says "For My Darling," and I will be hanging it next to my work computer so I can stare at it every day. And I think, I have to say that Rupert Grint might have some competition now.
Oh my goodness! All righty then. Now, I know you're in Portland, which is like a hop, skip, and a jump away. It's like the distance from San Antonio to almost Dallas, so it's right there. But how did you feel about that weather up there? It was not at all what I expected it to be.
Yeah, well, being from the Pacific Northwest, growing up in the Pacific Northwest, I'm literally 2.5 hour drive south of Seattle. My flight was literally 30 minutes exactly, there and back. Sorry to rub that in, but I thought I should.
That was 4 hours for me.
The weather was incredible, especially since we're still in winter, early March, even into late March. We usually see a lot of rain. The cold, was expected. It was definitely brisk and cold, I thought, but we got to experience a lot of sunshine. It was actually really nice. It was a nice treat to the usual constant rain during, this time and what is usually expected and seen. So I hope you enjoy that as well, because it was your first time to the Pacific Northwest as well.
It was interesting, I'll say that. There's certainly some pros and cons, but I liked Seattle. I thought it was a really nice city, very pleasant. The weather was cold for March. What did it hit the other day down here? 80? I think it hit 80. It's going to hit 90, I think, over like next week or something. And I'm up there and it's like 35 and there's a wind. And I'm like, okay, this is not normal for March weather. This is not what I'm used to. It was definitely different.
Yeah, well, 80, 90, and 90 we're pushing it for me, except I do have my heater on in my house right now set to 90. So.
Now, how would now you went to the Walker Stalker Con not too long ago. You've been to Celebration Anaheim. You have definitely hit some of the cons up there. How would you compare Emerald City Comic Con to the others?
You know, my favorite con to date before this convention had been definitely WonderCon. I love WonderCon. It's one of my favorite conventions ever, and this definitely is one of, if not the best, most successful conventions I've been to date. You know, I feel that the geek community is really coming forward, becoming such a staple in everyday lives, more so than it has been, say, 10, 15 years ago when conventions kind of started up. When cosplay started up, you know, it was starting to become popular. So now conventions are bringing it to the table, and they're delivering fans what they desire. And I really felt that Emerald City, you know, not just on a professional level for myself or personal level, but as far as fans go and giving them what they're looking for, I really felt that Reed Pop and Emerald City delivered. And I was really impressed with the layout of the convention in its entirety.
Now, here's the big question. All right, now I flew from San Antonio to Dallas to Seattle. You went from Portland. We met people there from Ohio. There were some people that traveled I met them from South Carolina and New York City, and people love to go across countries to visit Comic-Cons. Would you recommend that people travel to Seattle from wherever they may be listening to our voices for this con?
I mean, absolutely. The crowd size was immense. I mean, if any of you have been to New York City Comic Con, I would compare it, you know, to that convention. Definitely a large convention, but the layout was perfect. It allowed room for everyone to experience every desired opportunity. You know, the photo ops and autographs actually were really fairly priced. I think the most expensive one was David Tennant, and that was $100. And I mean, when you're looking at a comparison to prices with other conventions and competitor conventions, David Tennant for $100 to take a photo with him is actually a really, really low rate. So I thought that was great. I absolutely loved the Star Wars experience put up by the 501st. The Garrison Titan over there. Loved that. You know, we have so much in the Pacific Northwest, and the convention center is so positioned perfectly in downtown Seattle. So you have restaurants literally everywhere. Awesome food. Everything at the convention is, I mean, we saw, under $10? And normally at a convention for food, you don't see that. You see pretty expensive food prices, but there were tons of awesome vendors. We got to meet with a lot of awesome artists. I just want to, you know, thank personally Joe Caroni. We'll be working with him, one of the most known or well-known artists for Lucasfilm and Star Wars. His Game of Thrones prints that have just come out are just absolutely gorgeous. He's coming out with some very secret, perhaps new The Last Jedi themed prints, but we won't talk about that until they are released. But thanks, Joe Caroni. We'll be working with him. Thanks to Dark Horse Comics as well. We'll be working with them as well going forward. And Insight, you know, Guillermo del Toro's working on a lot of films, so we want to throw that out there, say thank you. And also, you know, my personal congratulations to Guillermo for winning Best Director and Best Picture for The Shape of Water. I absolutely couldn't be more excited. I mean, he is probably my favorite director, and this is off topic, but I just have to throw that out there because we are on a geek talk show.
Now, here's my question for you, and I want to leave you with something that inflates my ego a little bit because, my God, now we're talking about all these people, and I feel bad a little bit. Did you see the video I put up yesterday about our little running gag that we talked about?
I did.
First impression, what did you think? Because you didn't get to see all the recordings that I did for that. So your first impression.
I did not. Well, you know, I have no idea what you were looking for. You know, I have no idea what you're talking about. I even asked friends, you know, here, and they're like, "What, gum? Cinnamon gum?" So seeing it, I absolutely loved it. I think it's fantastic. We set out to accomplish a funny gag, and I think it was definitely accomplished at the show. I'm excited for its release, and I think everyone on the show will be just as excited and, enthused as I was to see what comes to play in that video.
Now, if we can ever get you to come down this way, even for just a little while, you're getting some Big Red and barbacoa. That's a must. It's gonna happen.
Well, I'm a vegan, so the Big Red, yeah.
We'll find some vegan substitute. We'll think of something. Vegan barbacoa. It's got to be something. We'll adapt. We'll improvise. We'll overcome. It'll happen. I promise.
Okay. That's a good deal. I agree to that. I hope to be down in Texas soon. Not sure if it'll be this year, but we're looking at, this year, next year, the following year. I'll be there at some point.
All right, Kaeli. Well, thanks for calling in. We appreciate you taking time here on Get Your Geek On with the Kaeli Comic-Con Report.
Thanks, David. I will talk to you soon.
Outstanding. All right, so that was Kaeli Cheyenne from the Daily Geek, taking time out of her ever-busy day to come chat with us here, Get Your Geek On. Emerald City Comic-Con was a lot of fun. It really was. I do recommend that Texans travel, especially since it's March and maybe you want some cooler weather still. You're not ready for spring in Texas, which, let's face it, that's essentially early summer. We have 4 seasons of weather here. We have early summer, late summer, and about 4 weeks of winter. If you're not done with winter yet, you want to go to the Emerald City Comic-Con and enjoy that little taste of 40-degree weather for just a little while longer. Okay, so with that being said, we want to go ahead and we want to squeeze in the little bit of time. We have a little bit of time here. Let's talk some Star Wars news here, shall we?
I'm looking forward to completing your training. In time, you will call me Master.
Alrighty, so Rebels is officially done. It is in the books, wrapped up. It is gone. The series finale was this week, and it was an okay episode until the ending. And I got to tell you, I am not pleased whatsoever with that ending.
Time out.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Time out. Should we go ahead? Give me a second here, because we can't talk about it yet.
Well, no, I'm giving us our basic impression of it until we get to the good stuff.
All right.
And so, just general impressions. What'd you think there?
I liked it. I really did. I thought it was not. I haven't watched the whole series all the way through.
Okay.
Mind you.
Fair enough.
But I liked it. I mean, it got us to where it needed to be.
That's true. And considering, as far as endings go, as far as a series finale goes, it sure did better than Firefly. I'm sorry. You knew that was coming. Come on, don't lie. Good gracious.
Take my love, take my land, take me where I cannot stand.
Yes,
I cannot stand it when you do that, sir.
Actually, the last several episodes really haven't been the hot garbage mess I thought it was going to be. Yeah, I had some issues. In fact, let's go ahead and let's talk about the issues that I had with the end there. Bit of spoiler alert.
Oh yes,
spoiler,
that one.
Yeah, we want to warn everybody. We're talking spoilers, so if you want to come back after the bottom of the hour news, go ahead and do that.
Red alert. All hands stand to battle stations.
What is this?
Shields up, red alert! Shields!
Red alert.
All right, so there's your spoiler alert right there. So let's talk about the last several episodes. Okay.
Yes.
Time travel in Star Wars is now a thing.
I like that part, though, because you got to hear Alex Guinness. You got to hear clips from the old shows and previous episodes in the movies. I thought that was cool.
I thought it would have been cool also if they had teased something from episode 9. I mean, if you heard some things in there, like you're like, wait a minute. Okay, so Jyn Erso, right? Obi-Wan, yeah. Who was that, and what are they talking about?
Well, you understand that by the time this was animated, not one frame of episode 9 had been shot.
I know,
yet.
but still, it would have been really cool if they had done that. The ending to the ending.
Yes.
The whole thing.
The epilogue?
I did not like that.
I liked the epilogue.
I did not like it at all.
Because it explains why we never see them, ever.
well, okay, but here's what it also kind of throws in. It's like, okay, wait a minute. So right before Kanan died, that's when he confessed his love. Well, we did the spoiler alert thing.
Yeah.
We did the spoiler alert thing. Right before Kanan dies, he confesses his love to Hera, and yet they have a child.
Yes.
So, hey, for all the kids out there, because this is on Disney XD, they at some point used the Force.
He confessed his love, and that's all we need to say about that.
Okay, Anywho, so now there's a child roaming around. We don't know who that is, other than his name is Jason. Which really, you're really kind of twisting the knife there on the EU Legends, folks, aren't you? With Jason,
It could be spelled with an S-O and not a C-N.
but still, come on. Of all the names to go with, you went with Jason. Okay, and then to see essentially Ahsoka Kenobi there at the end. She's gonna be like the female version of Yoda,
or the Star Wars version of Gandalf.
Yeah, yes, Ahsoka the White. I return to you now at the turn of the tide. I was Ahsoka the Gray. Now I am Ahsoka the White.
Honestly, she kind of did at the turn of the tide, and then she was never heard from again for like 6 years.
It just seemed, it felt like fan service to me. Oh, by the way, Rex was at Endor. I was at Endor.
It
or
felt
Hera was
like
at
fan
Endor.
service. It straight up was fan service.
They're just shoving this in there. And I'm like, wait, what? Whoa, you did what? Oh, my God. So now all of a sudden Hera survives. And this is actually kind of one of the issues I had with Return of the Jedi was that we had Lando Calrissian, who's a virtual nobody to the rebellion.
Yes.
And now he's not only a general, but he's leading the Starfighter attack on the Death Star. I had an issue with that.
Han's on the planet.
Well, yeah. But now you have General Hera Syndulla, who's been with the rebellion since literally the beginning, is a pretty good pilot herself and leader. She was at the Battle of Endor, and you picked Lando to lead the attack over her.
The thing about temporal mechanics is sometimes effect precedes cause.
I hate temporal mechanics. See, to me, that just makes that Lando point even worse.
Well, the Falcon was, for all intents and purposes, the mascot of the rebellion at that point. And you think Han was going to let anybody else fly that ship?
I'm okay with that. My problem is Lando basically walking up to the rebellion, and they say, okay, you're a general, you're leading the Starfighter attack on the Death Star.
Time out. Betraying one of the leaders at the time of the rebellion.
Absolutely. Selling out Han. Oh, I had no choice. Well, you still did it. So, okay. So, yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the actual ending. However, we did ask on our Facebook page, what is better, the Clone Wars or Rebels? We put this poll up there. 1,710 people answered. And that's as of now. The poll's still running. You can see it there, facebook.com/GYGO radio. 1,710 answered, 1.2K. Over 1,200 people said the Clone Wars are better. That's like 75-something%.
Well, that's because there's
70%.
characters in the Clone Wars that you're invested in that have made appearances throughout the Star Wars saga.
And not only that, but that's my other problem with Rebels. And I said this in season 1. They borrow too much. You have a young Lando. You have Leia. You have Bail Organa. You have Darth Maul. You have all these characters they bring back.
You have Vader
from Clone Wars. You have Vader. You have Tarkin. You have
Palpatine. The Emperor.
The Emperor. There was that bounty Hondo. They bring back all these characters from the Clone Wars, and it never really stands on its own. And the opportunity to bring in new and exciting and marketable characters is lost because you're bringing in all these other guys now that we've already seen and heard from. So if you're going to have a series, have the series stand on its own. If you want to have a cameo once in a great while, I'm fine with that. But it was just nonstop. It was fan service nonstop, and that just kind of drove me.
So you would rather Rogue One been a series, not just a movie?
I think that would have been a tremendous series. I think that would have been a great series.
Problem is that first season finale is going to burn you.
Whoops. Well, at least they'll go out with a bang. Thank you. I'll be here all week. So John Williams is officially going to stop composing music for Star Wars. He didn't say he was done, period. He didn't say that he was going to stop composing altogether. He just said that after episode 9, he was done with Star Wars. I find that very interesting. Also, we want to congratulate Mark Hamill. They broadcast on Facebook Live. They streamed it everywhere. Him getting his star on the Walk of Fame. Long overdue. We do appreciate that. I hope they put a little lightsaber in it or something like that. All right, we'll be right back. We got to cut hard here for the bottom of the hour news break, but we'll be back here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer and 930amtheanswer.com. Yes, we are back. Welcome back from the bottom of the hour news break. This is Get Your Geek On 9:30 a.m. The Answer Talk Radio. Winner of the Best Podcast Award for all of San Antonio in 2017. How sweet it is. I am Dave Gramillion, and if you missed the first half of the show, you missed the Kaeli Con Report. We talked a lot about Emerald City Comic Con this year, the celebrities, the cosplay, the atmosphere, the crowd, the building, the floor, the escalators, the whole 9 yards. We talked about it all, and if you're in Texas, let me tell you something. You may want to head up to Seattle for next year's Emerald City Comic Con because the weather up there was really, really nice. I'm not going to lie. It was pretty nice. And we also talked some Star Wars news. Rebels is officially done and in the books, and we had a poll full of 1,700 people, and we talked about those poll results. Which was better, the Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels? We also had a little bit of John Williams news, and Mark Hamill got his star. And if you want to listen to all that, you can on our award-winning podcast. San Antonio is the 7th largest city in the United States, and we are the best podcast for that city. Thank you very much, San Antonio Magazine. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and give a quick shout out to our friends over at Laser Legend. Laser Legend is on the north side of San Antonio, off of 1604 and Lookout Road. What makes them so special? I mean, they're not too far from I-35, so that's great access. They're not too far from Rolling Oaks Mall, so that's great access as well. But one of the things I really love about this place is their 2-floor laser tag arena. This is really a tremendous place to go have fun, to go just, I can't even say. It's just such a great place to go.
When was the last time you played their glow golf?
It's been a little while.
I played it on Saturday.
Yeah, how was that?
It was great. I did some laser tag, did some video gaming.
Nice.
I had only about a little bit of credits on my card, so I played Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh, yeah, that's a good game.
It was pretty fun.
Oldie but a goodie there.
Yes. And
we want to tell you about their Spring Break Bash unlimited play. $7. Now, here's the deal. First of all, it's going to start to get warm, and their air conditioning is serious. They've got some great air conditioning in there. $7, 1 hour, unlimited single attraction. So you can play laser tag, glow golf, or what they call the jukin box. You can play that for 1 hour, unlimited play for $7. If you want more than that, $14 gets you 2 hours, $21 gets you 3 hours. Unlimited laser tag, glow golf, and jukin box at Laser Legend. North side of San Antonio, Lookout Road in 1604. Tell them you were there to get your geek on. Alrighty, so the Oscars came out last week, and Star Wars, not so much. Wonder Woman, not so much. Planet of the Apes, not so much. Shape of Water, hey, there we go. There's a sci-fi movie for you that won.
Doug Jones, Shape of Water, also on Star Trek Discovery.
Yes, he is. So kudos, very nice. That works out. But you know what? It's just not the same, is it? I mean, not for us, not for geeks. And so, much like we did with the Emmys, we have the Golden Geek Award Movie Edition.
It's the second annual Golden Geek Awards on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, 9:30 a.m. TheAnswer.com. Brought to you by Get Your Geek On right here and now. Here's your host for this year's Geeky Golden Geek Awards. It is David Gramillion.
All right, thank you very much. We're already 37 minutes behind. Oh boy, I haven't heard an audience this stoked since. I'm not doing the jokes. I'll leave that to Jimmy Kimmel. All right, so I hold here in my hands the Golden Geek Award, and this is a very prestigious Geeky Award. I can safely say there are probably only about 15 to 20,000 just like it out there somewhere in circulation. So It doesn't actually have it does have a number on it, but I have a feeling, made in Vietnam. Okay, never mind. It's not a number. So here we have the Golden Geek Awards for the Oscars, the movie edition. And we are proud to announce the following categories: Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Soundtrack, Best Villain. That's a new one. You don't hear that often at the Oscars, unless it's Jimmy Kimmel or Gary Oldman, depending on who you're talking to. Best Voice Actor and Biggest Disappointment. That's going to be fun. Our own little Razzie there, only they'll get a Golden Geek Award. Okay, so let's go ahead and kick this off. Now, with the Oscars, there's like a time requirement. You have to have come out at a certain time in 2017 and all that. But for us, whatever. Calendar goes. As long as you come out by January 1, who cares? We're good. So here we go for Best Picture.
Oh, we're going to start with Best Picture?
You want to start with Best? Or you want to start with the little ones and move up?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, let's do that. All right, so Best Voice Actor. Let's start with Best Voice Actor. And that goes to Will Arnett from Lego Batman.
I'm Batman.
Pretty close.
Like I said, I don't have them all. I just have some.
And that works. So Lego Batman takes home the first Golden Geek Award. Goes to Will Arnett, Lego Batman, for Best Voice Actor. Let's move on to Best Director. Best Director, and this was close. We had a little bit of a discussion on this one, but ultimately, let's give it to Patty Jenkins for Wonder Woman. Patty Jenkins taking home the Golden Geek Award for Wonder Woman. Send her a nice tweet. Tell her, hashtag the Golden Geek Award. Congratulate her on that. Very
I
nice.
wouldn't be disappointed if we played that song a lot tonight.
It may happen. We'll have to check the envelopes and see how they go. All right, for Best Villain, we have, this is so exciting, and the Golden Geek Award goes to Luke Evans of Beauty and the Beast.
Tale as old as time.
The guy who played Gaston, I thought there was more depth to him in that one. He really portrayed Gaston a lot better, so I really liked him. Best Villain, Beauty and the Beast, Luke Evans. Let's go with Best Soundtrack. Is there any doubt, really any doubt to which one this is? It's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Woohoo!
Right from the beginning, it catches you, it gets your toes tapping. You're having a good time right there, right out of the gate. You love it. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 gets Best Soundtrack, the Golden Geek Award. Was that in it?
I don't know. It's an 80s song, though.
Okay. Okay, so that goes, let's see. So we've done Best Voice Actors, Will Arnett for Lego Batman. Best Director, Patty Jenkins, Wonder Woman. Best Villain, Luke Evans, Beauty and the Beast. Best Soundtrack goes to Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Best Supporting Actress. Best Supporting Actress goes to Karen Gillan of Jumanji. Jumanji takes home a Golden Geek Award. I'm glad she got it for something, because she was also Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Did a great job there. You may know her as the Scottish redhead from Doctor Who, but she was also in Jumanji, so she gets Best Supporting Actress.
I'm sorry, was she a Scottish redhead or what?
That would be Doctor Who.
It's just a jump to the left.
Best Supporting Actor. Best Supporting Actor, and that would go to this one. I have to admit, I was going so much back and forth. I wasn't sure who to give this to, and thanks to you and to Minion,
yes,
for chipping in and helping us to decide this one. This goes to Michael Keaton for Spider-Man Homecoming.
I'm Batman.
And I almost forgot about him there because, he was a great villain.
Yes.
But his normal persona right there from the beginning of the movie, you feel for the guy a little bit. You see his character arc develop throughout the movie. So Best Supporting Actor goes to Michael Keaton for Spider-Man Homecoming. And now we're coming down to it. We still have Best Actress, Best Actor, Best Picture, and Biggest Disappointment. Let's lead off with Biggest Disappointment. Nah, you know what? No, I'm changing my mind. We'll do that before Best Picture. All right, so Best Actress. Best Actress, and I don't think there's a lot of debate in this one. You could Emma Watson as Belle, I'm not, no. She was Emma Watson. She didn't convince me that she was Belle. She convinced me that she was Emma Watson. That was basically it. So what other nominees were there?
There's Jon Favreau for Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah, that was.
He cried like a girl.
Because he cried like a girl. Yeah, that was close. Yeah, I don't think it was even close. We got to go with Gal Gadot for Wonder Woman. Yep, wasn't even close. You gotta give it to Wonder Woman. There was just there wasn't a real alternative option there. So now that leaves us with Best Actor, Best Picture, and Best Disappointment. And Best Actor. This one we did go back and forth on. Best Actress was easy. But Best Actor, I mean, do you go with Patrick Stewart? Do you go with...
Patrick could be supporting, though.
Yeah. Do you go with Henry Cavill? Do you go with Mark Hamill?
Ben Affleck?
I mean, who do you really go with here? But I think in the end, I think it only came down to a few options.
Is it Adam Driver?
It wasn't Adam Driver. Amazingly enough, it wasn't. It wasn't also, was it Benicio del Toro was in Star Wars, I think, at one point?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so no, instead, we went with Hugh Jackman from Logan. You're all singing along, too. So, Hugh Jackman from Logan takes home the Best Actor Golden Geek Award. Well-deserved, I say. Very well-deserved on that. That leaves us with Best Picture and Biggest Disappointment. And for Biggest Disappointment, let's start off with that before we go to Best Picture. That way we leave kind of, a nice taste in your mouth there.
Leave them happy.
Yeah, exactly. Don't leave them on a bad note. I think it has to go. I mean, there were a number of candidates for this one, a number of stinkers this year, especially for geeky movies. But in the end, it has to go to a movie that had a $110 million budget and only made $40 million domestically. As soon as it was announced that Scarlett Johansson was going to be the main character, everybody said, "What? Really? ScarJo?" So our biggest disappointment winner of the Golden Geek Award for 2017 goes to Ghost in the Shell.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
I think that was, we had to pick that one. My God. Nobody wanted to see that movie as soon as they announced ScarJo. And after that, it just went downhill from there. That was just awful. Gracious. All right, and that leaves us with Best Picture.
There were so many good ones, too.
So many good ones. We could have gone with Star Wars The Last Jedi because it was the highest grossing. We could have gone with Beauty and the Beast.
Could have gone with Guardians 2, Thor Ragnarok.
Logan. Yeah, Thor Ragnarok's been shut out so far.
My brain wants to say Justice League, but my mouth just can't form the words.
No, we can't go Justice League. There was no way. We're talking Best Picture, although that was up for Biggest Disappointment. I'm not going to lie. That was a nominee for Biggest Disappointment. Instead...
Must be nice to be a dictator.
My show. What am I going to do? The Golden Geek Award for Best Picture 2017 has to go to The Room with Tommy Wiseau. I don't care that it came out, years ago. I don't care. We're giving it to him anyway. Because you are tearing me apart, Lisa. No?
Hang on.
Do you know that...
It's a fake.
Mark Hamill actually tweeted out to Tommy Wiseau. Tommy begged if Mark could get him into the Oscars. Just to go if you have any extra tickets. And Mark said, I have to thank you because now every time somebody comes up to me, you know what they say? Oh, hi, Mark. We're going to have to get you to watch that movie one day. Okay, so seriously, Best Picture, Golden Geek Award goes to Wonder Woman. That makes the third Golden Geek Award for Wonder Woman. They got Best Actress, Best Director, and now Best Picture. I think well-deserved Golden Geek Award. I mean, what else can you say?
Exactly.
It is the DCEU movie that is the good one.
It's the great one. Justice League is the good one.
That's debatable.
Suicide Squad.
It's the okay one. Suicide Squad is the one.
So, we've got what? 5 movies?
Yes, we have 5 movies now.
Rank them.
All right, from first to worst, Wonder Woman's the best. Man of Steel second. Justice League third.
Okay.
Batman, Superman, and then Suicide Squad.
I'd flip Man of Steel than Justice League myself. But
Really?
yeah.
Why is that?
Justice League's better.
Because?
Because one, we didn't get whiny Superman for 2 hours.
Yeah, I suppose.
And, you know, you got Flash, you got Cyborg.
Well, yeah, but...
That was nice.
Yeah.
You got Aquaman.
You have the worst villain in the DCEU.
No.
Steppenwolf was the worst.
No.
Yes.
Amanda Waller was the worst.
No. No, Steppenwolf was awful. And I watched on YouTube, you can watch the ending fight, with Superman and Steppenwolf. Swear to God, it looks like Injustice 2. It looks just like the video game.
That whole last third of the movie looked like Injustice 2.
Like right out of the video game. It was terrible. Oh my God. That was just awful.
But you know what's not terrible?
What's that?
What's coming up next?
Yes. What's coming up next is the one, the only. That would be our March Madness update. I get such a kick out of this tournament. It is so much fun. So March Madness is about to be underway with the NCAA, but for us, we are already looking ahead to the Sweet 16. We have officially congregated, we've officially commiserated, we've officially chosen who is moving on to the Sweet 16. Now keep in mind, this is not a straight up fight. A lot of people get confused by that. And they say, well, Superman would never lose to so-and-so. Yeah, but this is March Madness. There are 5 categories in which the judges have to figure out who wins based on those criteria. Strength, intellect, durability, the popular vote, and a random roll of the D20. Now, as much as I want to say that there's no way Chewbacca could beat Luke Skywalker, if Chewbacca gets the popular vote and the D20 roll, he wins because he's got Luke on strength. He gets 3 out of 5, and all of a sudden Chewbacca beats Luke Skywalker. That's why it's March Madness. There's no way that Duke University could lose to Southwest Louisiana Polytechnic. But you know what? In the event that the Duke point guard breaks his ankle, they miss, 8 out of 10 free throws, and they commit 5 turnovers in the last minute. Yes, it's entirely possible. That's why it's called March Madness. Now, we have our second round all ready to go, and we are ready to announce who is moving on to the Sweet 16. For the DC bracket, let's go ahead and cue up the music, please. Thank you, sir. We had Superman versus Supergirl, a rematch of the Kryptonians from last year, and the result was the same. Superman wins. I'm sorry, it's just how it is. Oh, sorry about that one, Supergirl. You're out in the second round. Superman advances to the Sweet 16, where he will face off against the winner of the Martian Manhunter and Wonder Woman. Yeah, I hate to disappoint all you Patty Jenkins fans out there. Wonder Woman didn't win. Martian Manhunter had this one going away. So in the Sweet 16, it's Superman versus the Martian Manhunter. And now we have in the lower half of the DC bracket, Green Lantern versus Doomsday in the second round. This one wasn't close. Yeah, Green Lantern versus Doomsday. What did I miss? Oh, yeah, no, sorry. I was just going down the list there. That's okay. Green Lantern versus Doomsday. Green Lantern loses this one. Doomsday picks up the win, and he will face off against the winner of Black Adam Darkseid. And let's face it, that wasn't close either. It was Darkseid for the win. Darkseid takes that one all the way. So the Sweet 16 in the DC bracket is Superman versus the Martian Manhunter, Doomsday versus Darkseid. That's going to be a fun one. That's going to be interesting. Now we are ready for the Marvel brackets. Marvel's second round action was hot and heavy. This was a lot of fun. Who's moving on to the Sweet 16? We have Thor versus Vision. I actually had Vision winning this one, but I was outnumbered by my fellow judges here. And Thor takes the victory. Thor over Vision. And we have him fighting off what is going to be now the challenge of Silver Surfer versus Thanos. Power Cosmic was not enough in this fight. Thanos wins this one, so we have Thor versus Thanos in the Sweet 16. That's going to be a fun matchup. The other half of the bracket there is Magneto versus Apocalypse. Apocalypse wins this one, no problem there. Then we have Doctor Strange versus Jean Grey. I thought Doctor Strange was going to win this one. I really, really did. But nope, Jean Grey comes out of this one. No upset in the making here. You will have Jean Grey versus Apocalypse in the Sweet 16. They will take on the winner of Thor versus Thanos. That will be fun. Oh, what a matchup that'll be. Alrighty, so let's move on and let's talk about the Star Wars bracket here, shall we? Star Wars bracket, we had Luke Skywalker versus Ahsoka Tano. And this one was controversial. Because you have to remember, we only did what was canon. Only what was canon. Ahsoka Tano, wow, yes, really put up a great fight with the judges.
She did.
But unfortunately, Luke Skywalker wins this one. Well, or fortunately, however your bracket pans out.
You know my logic on that, right?
Nope.
Luke beat Vader.
Yeah.
Vader beat Ahsoka.
Yeah.
So therefore, Luke would beat Ahsoka.
No. Sorry, A plus B does not always equal C. It doesn't always quite work out that way. My argument was, again, it's the 5 categories. They split. She got the D20. She rolled a 20 on her D20. Luke had the popular votes. They split that. So whoever got 2 out of the last 3 would win. And I gave durability to Ahsoka. I gave strength to Ahsoka. Because of all the duels that she's been in, all the fights she's been in, all the victories that she had won. She did a lot of dueling, a lot of fighting, whereas Luke, not so much in canon. So I actually gave it to Ahsoka Tano. But it's going to be Luke Skywalker, the number 1 seed, moving on into the Sweet 16 to face off against the winner of Vader versus Kenobi. This one, also a lot closer than you think, but Kenobi does win this one, and he will move on. So it's Master versus Student in the next round.
Ooh.
Luke versus Obi-Wan Kenobi. In the bottom half of the bracket, Mace Windu versus Yoda. And this one wasn't close. Not even close. Yoda wins this one going away. So Yoda will face off against the winner of Anakin versus Darth Sidious. And this one wasn't that close either.
Oh boy.
Not even that close. Darth Sidious wins this one going away. So you will have a very interesting Sweet 16. You will have Luke versus Kenobi, Yoda versus Sidious. All characters in their prime. So, now we move over to the final bracket. Second round, going to the Sweet 16. That will be the video game bracket. So here's the fun part. I like this bracket. My other judges, they hate it. Y'all don't like this bracket. It's okay, be honest. But I love this one.
That's why next year changes are happening.
Sephiroth versus Mega Man. And Sephiroth wins this one going away. Wasn't that close. I mean, the guy is just killer. I mean, just incredible.
Literally.
So Sephiroth moves on to face the winner of Cloud Strife, the 12 seed, who's shocked with the upset in the first round.
That was a big upset last week.
Shocked. Upset the 5-seeded Kerrigan in the first round. Cloud Strife versus Arthas. And Arthas won this one in a close one. This one was close, but Arthas stops Cloud Strife cold. Get it? In his tracks. The number 4 seed Arthas will face the number 1 seed Sephiroth in what is... Wow, that's going to be a matchup. Then we have Dante versus Oni in the bottom half of the bracket, and Oni wins that one as well. So Oni is moving on to face the winner of Link versus Kirby. And I can't believe the popular vote actually went for Link on this one. Have you all not played Nintendo? Seriously, have you all not played Nintendo?
They have. That's why they like Link.
Hey-oh. But nope, Kirby wins this one. Going away, Kirby wins. So it'll be in the video game bracket. Sephiroth versus Arthas. Oni versus Kirby. These are some very, very interesting matchups that we're going to have. I also want to, real quickly here before we actually start discussing it, I want to give big thanks and big shout-outs to our sponsors for the March Madness tournament. SeaWorld of San Antonio offered up a couple of day passes.
Ooh.
To include their water park. That was really nice of them. HyperX gave us a bundle, including a cordless headset, keyboard, mouse pad, hat, the whole bit there. So thank you, HyperX. Laser Legend is offering up a party for 10 people here in San Antonio to include pizza, drinks, and unlimited arcade play for, I think it was like 30 minutes. Dragon's Lair, Alamo Ranch, and Nightwatch Games gave us some action figures and board games that we can give away there in the box, so that's very cool. Legion M is offering up a participation prize. They are giving out swag and t-shirts, and the Dallas Fuel gave us a jersey autographed by one of their players. That's pretty
very
sweet.
Nice.
Very
nice.
cool. So we're having a lot of fun. If you signed up, great. If not, well, we'll see you next year, where I'm sure the tournament will be even bigger and better next year. So that'll wrap it up here. If you do want to tweet at us, you can find us at GYGO_radio. You can shoot me an email at davethehost@getyourgeekon.org. For Goose, for Minion, and for myself, I want to thank our sponsors, Laser Legend and the Mailing Spot here in San Antonio. Thank you for listening. Be excellent to each other, and make sure to get your geek on every single day. Good night, everybody.